Welcome back to the O Show, everything crypto every single day. I'm Wendy O. Today I've got a very special guest because I know you guys are incredibly interested about AI. It's really taking trading crypto and every single sector in the world by storm. And I have Bryan Benson. He is the CEO over at Aurum Foundation. Bryan, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thank you very much for having me. It's exciting to be on your show, and I can't wait to get going here.
Dude, I'm excited too because I want to know, I'm kind of on the fence with AI a little bit, okay? A little bit on the fence, but I'm really excited to hear your perspective on it and also what you guys are building over at Aurum Foundation. It's incredibly important because AI can be used as a tool to help improve people's quality of life. But you've been in fintech and crypto for quite some time. What made you decide, okay, I'm going to build Aurum? So talk to us a little bit about that and also exactly what Aurum is.
Okay, well, thank you for the question. What attracted me to Aurum was it reminded me of the last great company I was at and helped to build, which was Binance. And I was a managing director of Binance in Latin America for nearly 3 years. And during that time in late 2019 to 2022, uh, I think crypto was in a very nascent stage, similar to the way I see AI today. And so one of the things that attracted me to Aurum was the ability to sort of pioneer the intersection between AI, finance, and crypto. And I think it's a really powerful place. I was telling someone this today. I came from the internet age, right? Like when the internet first came out and it was an internet of information and we could read things and we could see things and we could learn. Now we have an internet of value where you can send money, you can send $1 billion with a click of a button, using some of these technologies, and it's really amazing. And the next wave of it appears to be AI and how these machines or these intellectual organizations and collections of data can make decisions and help people do things in their lives. And so I just really wanted to be a part of that intersection and help pioneer it and build the next fintech unicorn. And that's what we've set out to do.
I absolutely love that story. So you were around in the early internet days, and then you somehow found your way over to crypto. Was at Binance for quite some time in the early days, because I remember when Binance first came out, and then you're kind of early with AI as well. So it seems that you're very good at spotting new trends and knowing when to get in and continue to grow them. Is that correct?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, I've always loved technology. I've always loved the cutting edge of what's coming next, and I'm a dreamer myself at heart, and so I like to think about what we could do with the things that we have today. So the technology, when I was in university, no one had cell phones, and today you can't imagine people not having cell phones to do
Right.
anything and everything under the sun. So yeah, uh, I'm really proud. And what Aurum has built, we have a couple different products, but we're really focused on building an ecosystem that has financial products that people can use. So we have a Visa card that's available for people to use. It's a true crypto card. We have a neobank, which is a crypto first neobank. And then we have other products, which are our yield products. We launched an exchange this year, about a month ago. That exchange has liquidity staking in it. So it's a staking product inside the exchange. So we have a host of different things, but we're really looking to help people grow financially and live better lives. So that's the focus.
Awesome. Perfect. And that kind of segues perfectly into my next question is that Orem does mention a significant portfolio growth, about 200%, just using AI. But what does that mean in real life? Like, how does that translate to just an average person that's looking at Orem and is like, okay, this is really cool, but is this going to work out for me?
Well, so when we talk about the portfolio growth, like I said, we have different products, right? So if you're using our Visa card, you don't get a yield like that because it's a card that you can spend your
Yeah.
crypto on, right? So it's just a basic product. We have a neobank where you can, you have a wallet system, you can store that. It interacts with the affiliate system. It interacts with our card. But if people want to, kind of raise the bar on the risk level a little bit, they can go into what we call our AI bots. And so the most popular one we have is called our AEX AI bot. And what I'm telling you right now is not financial advice. Please do your own research. And past performance is no indication of future return in every investment that you do in life, right? So I need to say that before I mention the rest of it. But we have performed now for almost 2 years with the bot at between 10 and 15% a month, sometimes even greater than that. So if you sort of extrapolate that out over the year, comes out to, numbers that are pretty big. But again, we're only as good as our last month. So it's an ongoing battle to update the LLMs, to keep the agents sort of working the way that they're supposed to, and then overseeing those from a human standpoint to make sure that it doesn't get out of hand, and, make sure that we have this the right kind of risk control and we're able to shut it off if we need to and things like that. So yeah, it's possible to do it, but we don't promise anyone what the return's going to be. We work our very best to get them as much as we can, and then sort of the historical picture, that's approximately what it's been giving off. So yeah, I want to be careful with that because we don't promise people that they're going to get it, but we can do pretty well for them. So
Awesome, awesome. And yeah, that was actually my next question. Again, you're beating me to these, but because we know crypto is risky, and just like anything in the world, like anytime people hear the term investment, there's risk associated. Just because you put, X amount into a 401k doesn't mean you're going to get X amount of returns in some cases. But with AI, is that I feel like it does give people somewhat of an edge. So how do you make sure that the bot just doesn't blow up someone's account?
well, we have I would say, best in class risk controls on it. So we have stop losses, obviously, that are attached to a lot of the strategies that we're trading on. But we sort of have a couple of uh things below that if something does get by that, then we have a sort of a catastrophic sort of stop loss, if you will, that doesn't allow us to lose more than X percentage. And then if we see something, or the bot sees something that's just really out of hand that we can't make sense of, we have just a kill switch where we can just turn it all off and nothing happens. And so it's sort of that balance between AI and humans, to where we get as much out of the AI guy as we can, but we also check it, verify it, and make sure that we're happy with what it's saying. And if we're not, then we have the power to sort of override it.
Kind of segueing into AI a little bit, because AI, like, it's been around for a while. I know that a lot of the firms and TradFi firms, they use a lot of those for they use different types of algorithms, and now it's kind of available to everybody. But a lot of people think that AI can predict the future. Do you think that it can?
I don't think it can predict the future. What I think it can do is it can help us strip away some of the noise when we are trying to make a decision, right? And I think that's the power of it. And it can't tell you what you're going to have for breakfast in 3 weeks from now, because there's too many variables there. But what it can do is it can help you understand maybe trends, and dive into data and process that data in ways that we can't as humans, right? And so I don't think it can predict the future, but I think it can help us make possibly more educated guesses on what's coming in the future, and that might be part of the edge that it takes to be successful in trading and or in other things in life, right? Like AI is used in a lot of things, and that edge might be the difference between someone getting a job or someone not. And so yeah, I think it's a fine line, and no, I don't think it predicts the future, but I think it helps us understand the future in a more data driven centric way.
Yeah, I can definitely agree with that, because it's almost like you're using AI as a tool to help you to gather, like you said, to gather data and to possibly backtest things, do different things, so you have more information. And when people have more information, they're able to make better decisions in various things in life. So I like that. Uh, Aurum wants to be the bridge between normal finance and crypto. What does that look like in practice?
Well, that means you have crypto, and then you have sort of like the banking infrastructure where you can pay for things, you can buy things, you can send things to people. So we want to be that bridge, or that connection that says, hey, you have your digital assets out here, so your cryptos, your bitcoins, whatever it is that you may want, you may buy, you may hold, but you also have to go to the store and pay for things, and you can't you show up with your Bitcoin QR and be like, I'm here to pay. So it's that connection between how we use cryptos in the real world and how we use cryptos sort of in our savings, in our everyday back end life, because crypto is not while we've been working really hard, you, myself, and a lot of us in the industry, to get it to where it is today, we're still not to the point where you can pay everywhere with it like you can a Visa or a MasterCard,
Right.
or with a cash as you can in most countries. So we still have a long way to go, but that's what we're trying to do, is build those tools that sort of blur the lines between it. And you say, hey, I got the crypto and I can do this, or I got the cash and turn it into crypto, put it in a bot, stake it in a protocol that can make me a yield, and things like that. So we're trying to blur the lines between what it really means. And I personally think that eventually it's just going to be finance. It's not going to be decentralized or centralized or fiat or blah blah blah. It's just like we're just going to call it finance. Eventually, it's all going to merge together, right?
Yeah, no, that totally makes sense. And then I know some people are a little bit like iffy on AI. I'm one of those people to an extent. But what do you tell someone like me or just anyone in general who's, a little bit iffy on AI, that's afraid of AI and it feels like it's kind of just this big black box?
I kind of wonder if they would have been afraid of the internet also. Like, oh my gosh, so much information.
Not afraid of the
What am I gonna do with all these words? Like, no, I mean, I say that jokingly, but I think those that learn how to use these tools are the ones that are gonna, be able to take advantage of it. And if you're, reticent or afraid to use a tool, then I think you may be left behind on certain things. Like, it's not going to be, you're not going to cease to be a human or whatever if you don't use AI. But maybe people that are using AI can write better reports than you, or submit better, you know, papers in university, or whatever what the outcome may be. So I personally think it's an amazing technology. I still don't know how to use it fully. Like, I use it for some things and we have it in our business, but I think it's still just being developed to the point where we don't really know what it's going to look like 5, 10 years from now. And it's so exciting to me because it's such a technological revolution that has impacted so many aspects of our lives, that I think it's very sensible to be afraid of it, because it has this sort of otherworldly feeling to it sometimes. You're like, how the heck did it know that? Or
right.
what did it say that for? And but I think you take that into context and perspective, and you're like, hey, Google's listening anyway all the time. Uh, I'm sure it's happened to you where you say a word and then you see ads for that without even typing it in your phone. So I think we're in this world where there's so much data anyway, and I think AI is going to help some people make sense of it, and it's going to scare a lot of other people off. So we'll see what happens.
All right, let's talk about trading AI. Do you think people expect too much from AI trading right now?
Well, I think it's kind of, again, I go back to my early Binance days and early crypto days in general, right? Like, when people bought ICOs back in those days, they expected, 1,000x return and, whatever. And like, it was crazy, and that didn't last. And I think the same we could see now in AI trading and bots in general. It's like people get sort of sometimes lulled by the smooth taste of success, right? And they don't really do their due diligence, or they don't dive deep enough to see if what they're participating in is real or not. And so I think there's been a lot of imposters in the space, but I think it's also revolutionizing it. Like you said, hedge funds have been using it since the 80s. It's something that on Wall Street, and in the major financial markets across London, Hong Kong, Singapore, it's been a staple for some time now. What's really happening, the way I see it, is that sort of technology is, A, it's growing, but B, it's coming, sort of trickling down to the common man, to where people can have access to the same financial products, but also the same data and the same sort of AI power that a major corporation can. And I think it's going to level a lot of playing fields. Now, how that shakes out, I have no idea, but I see it really, bringing technology to the masses that they didn't have before. And so, yeah, we'll see. Again, I think people do expect a little too much from it right now, but uh, I think it's going to catch up, and we just got to be careful which ones we're using and make sure that the legitimate company's doing the right thing.
No, I totally agree. But I do want to know, I've got a question. What do you use AI for your day-to-day stuff as CEO?
Well, so we have it obviously in our product. So I review the product, and I'm pretty involved in, how the LLM, learns, and what the data points are and all that stuff. But from a day-to-day standpoint, I really use it quite a lot in my management tasks. I use Claude, I use ChatGPT, and I found that it helps me to be more concise and clear on some of the ideas that I have in my head, right? So I'm laying in bed or I'm driving in my car, and I'm talking to this thing, and I'm saying, okay, but now we need to tweak this so it's only 7 bullet points, and give me a little more information on number 6, and pretend like you're an expert on this field, even though you're letting me down on these last few answers. Like, I almost treat it like a friend, and I try and get as much out of it as possible and try and learn the little tweaks of how you can, leverage some of the commands and some of the ways to use it. So that's what I use it in a lot when I'm writing reports. As another thing, I record some conversations, I drop those into ChatGPT, and then I'm able to quickly disseminate throughout our organization what the key points of what we've just experienced are. So, for example, at our events, we have a quarterly event, and I get a lot of people come up to asking me a lot of questions like these and other really good ones,
Right.
right? I just write those all down and I speak them into, excuse me, into the microphone, and then I can concisely get those to our team, depending on which team it is, to help fix those things. So yeah, I use it almost every day. But one of the things I'm careful of is to not depend too much on it, because I
Right.
think it takes away from our critical thinking a lot of times. And so it's this fine balance of using it to organize and pull things together, but also don't let it drive your thoughts, and don't trust it 100% always. You got to always look at what it said, and make sure it's true.
So everybody that's watching, he is not using AI to answer any of these questions. It's all organic, all authentic.
That's right. That's right.
And now, what's the hardest part of building an AI first financial product?
I think it's just like any innovation. We're breaking ground in sort of a new industry and in a new field, or a new uh speciality within the finance field. And so along with that come all the obvious struggles of, there's people that don't do the right thing, that pretend that they are. There's a lot of fake, noise out there, I think. And so for people to be able to um have successful products, it takes a lot of work and it takes a lot of time to build these things. It's not an instant thing. Now it's getting shorter and shorter, thanks to the AI that we're implementing in building the AI products. And it sounds probably really weird to say, but I think the hardest part is the perception that's out there, because people just don't trust the machine a lot of times. It's
Right.
been instilled in us since we were little, like the ghost in the machine concept, and I think it's something, it's a powerful force that people have this concept that it's listening to everything we say. And so the perception, I'd say, is the hardest thing for us to battle.
That makes sense. That makes sense. And last question. If you had to describe Orum's long-term mission in one simple sentence, what would it be?
Well, this is an easy one because this is something that we're really focused on. And one of the reasons that I'm happy to be the CEO here, but we're focused on creating 1,000 millionaires. And so we want to create, $1 billion company. And the easiest math I can think of is 1,000 million is a billion, right? So if we have 1,000 millionaires that have earned that through our platform, I feel like that's going to be a job well done. So yeah, we want to create 1,000 millionaires.
I
And
absolutely love that.
we've already
And
done 6, and we haven't even launched yet. So January is our official launch, and we've already, 5 or 6 that have already made more than $1 million through our platform. So
awesome. That makes me so happy. I love that you guys are like, I love that you're creating this really, really awesome, like crypto, but TradFi financial product. And you're really just really for the people, because at the end of the day, crypto was created for the underdogs, created for the people, by the people. So I absolutely love the mission that Orm has, what you guys are doing. And you guys just don't necessarily have a trading bot. You guys have so many other things within the ecosystem to help people, to help improve their qualities in life and make things simple. So thank you so much for coming on, Bryan. I really, really greatly appreciate it. And again, audience, if you guys want to learn more about Bryan or take a look at Aurum Foundation, we have all the links down below. Again, AI is supposed to be a tool to help improve your quality of life. You can use it as that, and that's exactly what Aurum's building with all of their different suite of products. Bryan, before we get going, anything you want to, any piece of alpha you want to drop the audience, anything I might have missed?
no, I mean, I think you did a great job. The thing that's really cool about Aurum is, like you said, we have a lot of different things. So not everything is for everyone. And, some people don't want to risk their hard-earned money on a technology they don't understand, but everyone understands a
Yes.
Visa card. Everyone understands a banking app. And so we try and come to the people with simple things for them to use and understand and appreciate. And then from there, they can sort of get risky with, 100 of their $1,000 and see how it works. And yeah, we just suggest people dip their toe in the water. If they like it, they can continue to be part of our ecosystem. But we don't want to push what we're doing on anyone. We want people to be interested in these types of technologies and come see us.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Bryan. Have a good rest of your week.
You too. Cheers. Bye bye.